And welcome to the 39-degree beer garden as we're getting ready for St. Patrick's week here in the beer garden. We are in the presence of the Grand Fig, which is dead because it's late winter, early spring. And I have to introduce to you an old friend of mine. We've been getting a lot of requests to see the leprechaun friend who always comes out. His birthday is on March 17th, and he is Pat McCrotch. Yes, Pat's been with me for almost 25 years or so. Pat is from Ireland, and he lived in a garden, and I'm not making this up, he lived in a garden in Ireland for a long time. A woman sent him to me because her cat did not like him, and the cat kept knocking him over and trying to bury him. And so a woman, total stranger, gave Pat McCrotch to me. And so Pat McCrotch has sort of been our official mascot for the years. And all these years he has been with us through many a brew consumption. And up this round, because we're getting ready for St. Patrick's Day, is Guinness Draught Stout. I don't know what's up with this Gives Back to America can, but don't let that throw you. Guinness, brewed in Dublin, Ireland, St. James Gate, when Sir Arthur Guinness took out a lease on that land in 1759. He took out a 9,000-year lease, so they're going to be there for a while. All right, of course, up this round is the sold-out Red Label 2023 pint glass of a cheap brew review, to be complemented with the painted leather patch Richardson's trucker cap, sold out, by the way. And check out my channel. I've done other Guinness reviews, but to date, I never did Guinness, the standard Guinness Draught Stout. This is what you get when you go to a pub. This is what you get. And if you listen, some have said it sounds like a spray paint can. Inside the can is a widget, and in that widget is nitrogen. And when we pop the top on this, it releases the nitrogen, and it gives it that, to be honest, a true tap taste and mouthfeel to it. And without that widget, you don't get that true tap taste, because the Guinness on tap, they have the CO2, and then they also have a nitrogen separate canister, and then they feed that into the beer as it comes out to give it that very unique, soft feel, that mouthfeel to it. And I'm going to show you a unique pour coming up, and at the end of this video, I'm going to give you my ranking of Guinness Draught Stout out of 5 stars. How good an Irish beer is this, or how good a beer in general is it? If you haven't tapped that subscribe button yet, please do. We would love to have you as part of the crew. All right, let's pop the top and see what we got on this 14.9 ounce Guinness Draught Stout, 4.1% alcohol, high in iron, and it was actually marketed as good for you back in the day. And believe it or not, in Ireland, they gave pregnant women and women who just gave birth Guinness because it is high in iron, and it was actually sort of good for them. So I don't know. Before I pop the top, I must reveal that yes, I have subconsciously, I guess, color coordinated my wardrobe with the brew we are reviewing today. And incidentally, this jacket, the last time I was in Dublin, had this jacket on because it was a cool, damp day, much like it is now. Shut up and review the brew, they're telling me. All right, let's pop the top and see what we got. A very unique sound. There we go. The Guinness is so excited for St. Patrick's Day, it cannot contain itself. Now, when you are getting a Guinness Stout, the nitro version with the widget in it, don't pour it like a typical beer down the side of the glass. You can pour it directly down the middle, and they actually encourage you to do it. It will not overflow, trust me. I've done this thousands of times. Give it a nice aggressive pour right down the middle. The nitrogen mellows it, and just look at the cascading. Get a good look at that. Contrary to what many think that Guinness is a black beer or a dark brown beer, it's not. It's actually a very, very dark red. It's a ruby red. And I learned that on the tour of the Guinness Brewery in Dublin. If you're ever in Dublin, you have to take that tour. Well, you don't have to, but I mean, they don't make you. Maybe perhaps they should make you take that tour. It is just a fantastic experience whether you like Guinness or not. My wife, when we went there, she's not a Guinness fan at all. She doesn't like Stout. She's like, but she enjoyed the tour. And at the end of the tour, they give you a free pint. Well, it's not free. It's included in the price that they bang you for. But she downed that pint like a champ, and she liked it. So anytime you order a Guinness, this is what you want to see. You want to see a one-finger head on top of it, just like that. If you don't get that, you're at the wrong place, and they don't know what they're doing. This is a typical traditional pour for Guinness. You want that one-finger head. Notice how aggressively I poured it right down the middle, and it didn't overflow. And this is the head that you get. That's because of that nitrogen widget. I'm really giving you a master class on Guinness, huh? Time for the nose, shall we? On this 4.1% Irish standard, I'm getting a nuttiness, almost like a pecan or a walnut. There is a little bit of a yeast underbelly in there. I get the smell of a little bit of a sweetness, yet a little bit of a bitterness, almost a perfect balance of a perfect beer, but don't let that influence the jury. I still have to give my review out of 5 stars coming up. Where am I going to score Guinness Draught Stout? Almost a smokiness. Can I say a cigar? I don't want to say a cigar in a bad way, but it is that smoky, very manly, very masculine, very Irish bar, pub smell. So, all right, let's get to it. Time for the liquid to hit the lips. I don't want to drink alone, so grab yourself a beer. And it's St. Patrick's Day, Slainte, regardless of the time of the year you're watching this video. Oh, Pat McCrotch approves of that drink. All right. A lot of people get intimidated by stouts, and I say don't, because stouts are so dark for a reason. Usually they just have a tremendous amount of flavor. The darker the beer that you have, the more flavor and intensity you get. I get that. That's not for everybody, and that's not for every time of the season. A lot of people ask me, what's your favorite beer? I don't know. I typically do not have a favorite beer because it all depends on the season, the venue, what do I feel like. But the darker beers are going to have a more intense flavor, a more flavorful, and not necessarily higher in alcohol. A lot of people get that wrong. Like I said, Guinness, 4.1%. And it's only around about 125 calories, believe it or not. A lot of people think it's a very heavy beer. They say, oh, loaf of bread. No, not at all. I find it to have a very light mouthfeel. Even with the nitrogen, it doesn't really fill up the stomach like a loaf of bread. And 4.1% alcohol. As long as you pace yourself, you can go all day, all night on a Guinness. And trust me, I have. I once sat down with an older gentleman who's in his late 70s, early 80s, perhaps, and he was drinking a Guinness, and he says, here, sit down and have a Guinness with me. So I said, okay. And I asked him, I said, if you could sum up your life in one word, what would it be? And he looked at me and almost immediately responded, Guinness. Yes, his life has been influenced by the stout that is Guinness, as have millions of people throughout the world. So, out of 5 stars, where would I put Guinness Stout, the original draft standard of what you get? This is what you get when you order it on tap, and definitely I would suggest, out of all the Guinnesses that are available in bottles or whatever, and check out my other reviews of other styles of Guinness here on this channel, I would suggest going with the draft stout. Or if you're at a pub, go ahead and have them pull you a pour on tap, because that's going to get you into the Guinness game.